Okay, so local variable, what does it mean? Why should we use it? And how do we use it? Local is basically declaring a variable, obviously a data type like a string, an int, or a value, or a part in the workspace, for instance. Okay, and basically this variable is local. Okay, this variable is basically only local to the script in which it sits. So basically, inside this script I have here in server script service, the only script that can access this data is this script that it's inside of. All right. So I know sometimes you see variables that are defined without a local statement, and those are basically global variables that can be used anywhere inside the script, and in some cases can be accessed by other scripts, in the case being module scripts. Now, of course, module scripts contain basically just functions that store code and things like that. But for now, we're just doing variables. So let me give an example of how this is used. So we're just going to start off with a basic function. Alright, so basically here what I've done is I've defined a global function. Alright, it's not a local function, because you'll see functions written locally. Local function obviously means a function that can only be accessed by the script itself. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this local business works, alright, inside of these scripts, right? So let's say we have a string value defined inside of our function, okay? Say we've defined it with the local, so it's going to be local only to the block of code which it exists in, okay? Now this is very important to remember. This local basically means any variable stored after this statement is basically only local to the block, all right, the block of code inside of where it is defined. So if I do local to add a string of, okay, so that's our string. Let's say we want to print our string, so we will inside the function we will print string val. All right, and down here I'm just going to call this function out really quick. So I'm going to go var function, and we're going to do run. Focus down here on my output. As you can see, it has printed our string. Now if I click stop, okay, so because this variable is defined locally, okay, inside of this variable is defined locally inside of the function, okay, it can only exist within this block of code, all right? So if I wanted to use this string again in another variable, I would have to define it outside, okay, outside. Local, all right, we can't delete this local inside of here because the script Lua doesn't accept that inside of a function instance. So basically, to have a variable that the entire script can access that is defined with local, this variable actually has to exist right at the top, all right? So that means anything under here, any code, any functions, any for loops, anything written under here can access this variable. Because remember, it's a bit like the parent-child system, okay? You know how like script.parent is like a part in the workspace, and the workspace is the parent to the part, and the child is the part to the workspace. Now, imagine that the same being with the local value, okay? So basically, this variable can exist anywhere within the script. So we could do print, we can print, and we can just do string value. Obviously it's going to print the string value down here like it did last time, all right? Remember, it's at the top inside of a, let's say, a function. Variable equals function, okay? This is our basic function, right? And let's say because this is defined locally, because this is defined globally, like I said, we can access it from any part of the script, all right? Because it's completely, it can be used anywhere in our script because it's right at the top, right? It's like right at the top of the hierarchy. So because inside here we can also do print, and then if I put in the first couple of letters, as you can see in the tally sense, the script has recognized the variable that we can access through this. String val. I call my function and I run and look down in my output. As you can see, it's printed the string, all right, down in the output, all right. This works for any sort of variables. We can do int value equals 10, or we could do local bool val is equal to, I don't know, true. All right, can be accessed anywhere within the script. All right. Anyway, that's about all for today's video. I hope you learned something. Anyways, thank you guys so very much for watching. See you next time.